That's what just happened with the Boston Red Sox and Rafael Devers. So Rafi got traded yesterday. By the way, apparently his final at bat ever as a member of my beloved Boston Red Sox, hit a home run against the Yankees in a 2-0 win for the Red Sox, and a sweep over the Yankees is the first team that has swept New York this season. In a stretch, the last 10 days for the Red Sox have gone quite well. You took 2 or 3 off the Yankees in the Bronx, come back home, take 2 or 3 off the Tampa Bay Rays, stay home, you just swept the Yanks. Now you're on a long West Coast road trip against Seattle, the Giants, and the Angels, but you're in good shape. You're finally back over 500. You're right in the thick of the wild card chase. Maybe this season could turn out to be something. And a guy would win the World Series. You don't even have to win the pennant. You're almost certainly, especially now, not winning the AL East. But get in the playoffs. Get back in the dance. Get back in October. I'd call that a good season if I'm a Red Sox fan. And they trade Rafael Devers. So first of all, here's the trade details. And it is, so the San Francisco Giants get Rafael Devers. The Red Sox get Jordan Hicks, a right-handed pitcher, Kyle Harrison, a left-handed pitcher, and they get 2 prospects, James Tibbs III, an outfielder who is the 4th-ranked prospect, or was the 4th-ranked prospect for San Francisco, and a right-hand pitcher, Jose Bello, from the Giants. And we could show you what Rafael Devers has done in his career. He bats .279, about 1,100 hits, 215 home runs, which, by the way, is 10th in Red Sox history. Rafi's not even 30 yet. 696 RBIs, 663 runs. He's a 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, and he's a World Series champion back in the 2018 season. Safe to say, Rafi's had a pretty darn good career thus far, and the Red Sox said, we're going to trade him. In large part, as has been heavily reported over the last few months, that the issues between Rafi and the Red Sox start in the signing of Alex Bregman. Obviously, a multi-time champion of the Astros, great player, great third baseman. He's hurt right now. When he comes back, great defensive third baseman for the Red Sox. Championship experience, all of it. And Rafi was the third baseman. The organization out of nowhere said, hey, we want you to be the third baseman. He's like, oh, well, that kind of, we want you to be the DH. My bad. We want you to be the DH. And Rafi's like, whoa, hang on a second. I'm pretty comfortable at third. Like, no, we want you to be the DH. And it kind of goes back and forth. He's like, okay, fine, I'll be the DH. The Red Sox are like, okay, great. You don't have to use your glove this season. And then not long ago, during the season, Tristan Casas goes down for the year. The starting first baseman for the Red Sox. And the Red Sox say, hey, actually, just kidding. We want you to play first base. He's like, whoa, wait. You said I have to use my glove. I was getting kind of comfortable here at DH. Got out to a really rough start to begin the year. But got kind of hot. Now I'm back to my old Rafi Devers numbers. No, we want you to play first. And he's like, I'm not playing first. You didn't give me any notice ahead of time. Especially as it relates to the Red Sox and their lack of care for addressing that position. I mean, they're almost like my Pittsburgh Steelers at quarterback. Like, they're just kind of just throw whoever the best guy they have out there and see how it goes. And over the last month, what makes it even worse, the makeshift first baseman rotation, if you will, for the Red Sox has worked. Roman Gonzalez has been good. Abraham Toro has been really good. These guys have filled in. They've done their job. They've been great in the lineup, all of it. And Rafi gets traded yesterday. And as Ken Rosenthal, who wrote a great piece today, shout out to Ken Rosenthal at Fox Sports. He talked to David Ortiz, Big Papi. My guy he's probably he is the most beloved Red Sox player since Ted Williams, I think. Papi was like, you got to be, you can't be a bad team player in the locker room, whatever. Listen, David Ortiz is as close to the Red Sox organization as anybody, certainly closer than I am. Maybe he knows stuff, and maybe other folks out there who are close to Boston know stuff that I do not know as a Red Sox fan, particularly one that does not live in the state of Massachusetts. Part of me, though, thinks that's David sticking up for the Red Sox. He's going to be a good soldier. He's going to back the organization. Like, we get that. Doesn't want to cause any more friction than there already is. What has become very apparent with this organization? They're starting to operate like they're a small market baseball team. They're starting to operate like they're the Tampa Bay Rays or the Athletics, Pittsburgh Pirates. That's how they're doing business. And that's how they did business back in 2020. Because the fact of the matter is, let's play devil's advocate. Let's take the Red Sox side in this. Let's say the Red Sox are absolutely telling the truth. Man, there were some locker room issues. We didn't like how he handled the media, which, by the way, there are folks in Boston that say, that's actually not the case. Rafi was actually pretty good with us. But let's say the Red Sox are telling the truth, even though they're not. All that, let's say that's all true. If you're going to trade him, you can't get a better haul than this. And according to other reports, Giants were the only team they seriously consider, talk to. This is, listen, folks have compared it to the Luka trade back in February. A, in terms of shock value. B, in terms of how the Lakers were the only team the Mavericks consulted, which was stupid then and is equally stupid today. It's not that, because as great as Rafi is, I think he's one of the 10 best hitters in Major League Baseball without question. His numbers would show you that. Rafi is not, I think Luka's one of the 4 best basketball players on planet Earth. So he doesn't quite get to that level. And by the way, we know for a fact Luka wanted to stay in Dallas. It's debated between other sources whether Rafi wanted to stay in Boston. Cool. Let's say he didn't want to be in Boston. That's the best trade you got? The only team you talked to was the San Francisco Giants, who, for the record, are a real contender. At least they have emerged as such in the National League. I mean, they're right in the Dodgers' heels in the NL West. So, like the Dodgers, who are far and away the best team in baseball, I think they're going to still win that division as they always do and go on to win the World Series. But Giants are putting up Buster Posey's doing his thing as the president of baseball operations in the Bay Area with the San Francisco Giants. The return you got was this: Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs III, and Jose Bello. I will openly confess, I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. Love Major League Baseball. I've never heard of any of those guys, particularly the prospects, obviously. There are others like Jeff Passan, the great Jeff Passan at ESPN, who have said, hey, $250+ million. The Red Sox, who looked at this and said, these contracts usually don't age well. Let's go and get out from under it now. And there's issues in the clubhouse now. Let's get out from under it. I would give them the benefit of the doubt if their history of moving off of great players wasn't as bad as it was. Need I remind you of the 2020 trade that sent Mookie Betts to the Dodgers? Dodgers got Mookie Betts, David Price. The Red Sox in return for Mookie Betts, one of the 10 best players in Major League Baseball, a multi-time champion and an MVP. They got Alex Verdugo, who's no longer part of the team. Connor Wong, who's is the starting catcher most of the time, but is an okay player. And Jeter Downs, who is not in Major League Baseball anymore. That was the return they got for Mookie Betts 5 years ago. Meanwhile, Mookie has gone on to do great things with the Dodgers, go to multiple World Series. We know what his success has been in Dodger Blue. They are operating like a small market franchise, and folks, it ain't because they don't have the funds. The Red Sox last year, in large part because of the TV deal, Nesson, and because Fenway Park, it's one of the iconic sports destinations in the world. Forget America, the world. Been there for 113 years, all of it. Fans show up. Fans have bought. We know about the passion of Boston sports fans. They love their Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, and Patriots. The Red Sox, though, hold a special place. Particularly with the curse of the Bambino. There's like a generational tie. Like, are we going to be the generation that sees the Sox win a championship? And they obviously did in dramatic fashion, beating the Yankees from down 0-3. They swept the Cardinals in 0-4. They've gone on to win 4 championships in the 21st century. Red Sox were number 1 in terms of profit turn in 2024. Despite 3 straight seasons of 500 baseball. Despite, since the Mookie Betts trade, you want to know what the Red Sox record is? 390 wins, 391 losses. They are the definition of mediocrity. The Fenway Sports Group, John Henry and others that own the Red Sox, also happen to own Liverpool. Interestingly enough, about 3 days ago, they brought in a kid, soccer player, Florian Wirtz, overseas, brought him into Liverpool, signed him to a $135.9 million contract in U.S. money. And they've seemed to show a significant level of care into the Liverpool soccer team than the squad of the namesake of the entire sports group that host the baseball team, the Boston Red Sox. They operate as if this is a small market team, as if they're like the Cincinnati Reds or something. They have a history of alienating players within their organization, champions within their organization. Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers, John Lester, Xander Bogaerts. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is kind of what they do. So I think at this point, the only solution Because I think the manager's good. I think Alex Cora is one of the best managers in baseball. I love him. The prospects, the young prospects they got there, pretty good. Is for Red Sox fans to stop showing up at Fenway Park. Now, that might seem disconnected on my part because I'm a Sox fan that lives in the great state of Tennessee as opposed to the great state of Massachusetts. Never been to Fenway, would love to go someday. But that's how they're turning a profit. Or the best profit, rather, each and every year. Is because butts are in seats at Fenway Park. Because they love the ballpark, they love their team, despite the average baseball that's been played over the last 3 seasons. And really, 6 of the last 7, if we're being frank. So I think at this point, if you're Boston, if you're Red Sox fans, for the time being, stop showing up to Fenway. We kind of saw it with the Dallas Mavericks. Bunch of Mavs fans selling their season tickets like, my God, you. Now, again, Rafi is not Luka. Luka literally affected the Dallas economy. Devers does not. But you saw in Dallas, they're like, wait a second. You traded a guy who could have won a championship, who's going to win a multiple MVPs just because he's overweight. He, by the end of the season, he's not overweight. What do you do? Okay, it's just heck with y'all. We're going to sell our season tickets. We're done with the Maverick. Wasn't until they got Cooper Flagg, by just sheer luck in the lottery, that those fans are back. Sox don't have so good of a history with that. They lose every trade they're involved in. Outside of the Xander Bogaerts not bringing him back after the 2022 season, they seem to have an issue of letting players go at the wrong time. John Lester goes on to win a World Series with the Cubs. Mookie's won multiple World Series with the Dodgers. Who knows what Devers is going to do with the Giants? This is their history. This is what they do. And again, as a Red Sox fan, it is remarkable to see an organization that at the turn of the century evolved into one that's like, okay, we're going to buy into analytics. Actually, the Red Sox were kind of the first team to do that. We're going to buy into analytics with Theo Epstein. We are going to construct a baseball team kind of around that, but also rely on old school baseball. Terry Francona's our manager, after all. We're going to pay a lot of money for our free agents. We're going to keep the guys, the hometown guys in Boston. How that's evolved into, we're basically the Tampa Bay Rays, but we make way more money and we're in a bigger park, or a more iconic park. I don't know, man. It does have you asking questions about where baseball is, where Red Sox baseball is in the priority list of the Fenway Sports Group and John Henry. We can blame the former GM Bloom. We can blame the new guy as well, Craig Breslow. Ownership stayed the same. You can blame all those bad GMs for the Knicks prior to Leon Rose. James Dolan was still owning the team. You can blame all the bad GMs, so to speak, that Washington had, but Dan Snyder owned the team. You can blame all the bad coaches the Dallas Cowboys have had, but Jerry Jones still owns the team. It's hard to get out of bad ownership, folks. And it's not so much that the ownership group is bad. So much, because they do a great job in their other endeavors. So much as it is Red Sox baseball. Okay, we've got our 4 rings. Fans are going to show up to the ballpark anyway. What does it matter to us? We're going to get some Sunday night baseball games against the Yankees every year on ESPN, even though the ESPN contract is running out with baseball. But still, all of those things, we're still going to be a relevant franchise. Doesn't really move the needle a ton for us individually as an ownership group if we go on to win a World Series. If we go on, God forbid, a playoff run at some point. If Rafi Devers wanted out of Boston, which there's conflicting reports on that, fine. That's one thing. It's quite another to get the return that you got. Similar to the return you got in trading an even better player, Mookie Betts. It's turned into quite of a joke of a franchise, if I do say so myself. So the Red Sox are probably going to continue, play 500 baseball. Again, as I said at the top, 390 wins, 391 losses since the Betts trade. And as a Sox fan, it pisses me off quite a bit. After it seemed like he got the season on track, Devers even made a comment like, hey, we're playing good, but there's more in us. Dave O'Brien, the lead play-by-play man for the Red Sox for Nessens, done a great job for the last decade. He said, hey, It's the best energy I felt in Fenway in years. Literally, that was Dave O'Brien's words. And like, you know what we should do? Trade our best player. After we've started playing some good baseball, after the rotations finally got their act together, and the bullpen has been better as of late. No. Let's kill that momentum. Let's move him. Just because we're petty about a disagreement about where he might play. When, by the way, despite the injury to Tristan Casas, we've seemed to address a lot of our needs at first base. Makeshift guys, Romy Gonzalez, Abraham Toro, they've been good. They've shored up that side of the infield. Been good in the lineup. Classic Red Sox. And more so classic Fenway Sports Group. We'll be back after the break, folks. I'll try to move on emotionally as a Sox fan, but this is a hard one to move on from. This is gonna be a hard season to watch the rest of the way. And Red Sox fans, I know it's not easy, but for the greater good is this franchise, because apparently the ownership group doesn't want to put the time in. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.